everyone for coming. There was a sign-up sheet. Did anybody sign up to actually talk? No one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. We're going to start out with our audit presentation. Mr. Carl Goring will present that to us, and because he's coming all the way from San Antonio, that way he can get done and get out of here.
Okay, good evening. So this is for the audit for the Devine Fire Department. So last time I was here, we went over the 2025 audit for Medina, ESD2. This meeting is Devine VFD, and this is as of September 30th, 2024. So essentially still a year behind. We're sorry that it took longer than expected to get the audit done. It was a lot, and it took a lot for Miss Nancy to get everything compiled for us to complete the audit, with records how they were. But we were able to complete the audit, so better late than never, and I appreciate y'all's patience. I'm just going to flip through the audit pages, and I'll call out the page numbers as we go, and we'll just go over some of the highlights. So on page 1 of the audit report, okay, this is the independent auditor's report. This is where we have the opinion letter. You can see that about halfway down we have an emphasis of matter, and it's saying, and we'll go over the note. In note 10, there was fraudulent activity during the fiscal year 2024, but our opinion is not modified with this matter. So even though there can be fraudulent activity within an entity in a given year, you can still receive what we call an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion we can give on an audit. And that is because the financial statements are still free of material misstatement, the frauds identified, we can still give a clean opinion. But we do bring it out in a note as well. So the opinion part is saying that the financial statements are free of material misstatement and conform with GAAP, even though it doesn't specifically say unmodified. And this will be a little bit different format than what we've gone over in the past, because y'all are a government entity and VFD is a nonprofit. So a little different terminology here or there. I'll kind of say the terminology and then I'll just say what it actually means, right? So we'll go from there. Okay? So on page 3, these are the actual financial statements. What looks like a balance sheet we call the statement of financial position. And on page 4 is the statement of activities. That's essentially your income statement with revenues and expenses. For your balance sheet, I took a look at comparison between 2024 and the prior year, 2023. I did notice, and this was the year where the fraud was more prevalent, that cash did decrease by $88,000, $88,665. But your receivable increased by $64,715. Or sorry, there was a receivable for $64,715, and that is the insurance receivable to make up for the fraud that was reported to insurance from y'all's internal report. So cash did decrease, but receivables as well increased to recoup the fraud that was presented to insurance. We did add some assets and liabilities this year. Through Nancy, we actually found that the VFD has a lease. And sorry if I say y'all as in you, I really mean the VFD.
Sure.
There's a lease for a building and leasing it to, I believe, the Napa Auto Parts store. So we needed to record that because there's special accounting rules regarding leases. But otherwise, the assets and liabilities, for the most part, remain the same. On the revenue side, or your statement of activities on page 4, under grants, the VFD did apply for several grants this year. The largest one was the SAFER grant. You can see 2 columns here, without donor restrictions and with donor restrictions, ESD funds. Through y'all's contract with the VFD, the ESD did stipulate what the VFD could use the ESD funds. The biggest kind of condition there being that they don't spend the funds on payroll-related expenses, to keep it for firefighting type expenses. So we break it into 2 columns to show what would be the VFD funds that are unrestricted or outside of the contract and what was particularly provided by the ESD. And so everything in that left column is VFD funded. So the grants that they're applying for would go in that without donor restrictions column. Insurance revenue, we just mentioned it on the previous page. You have the receivable for $64,715 this year. So we're recognizing that as income this year, and so that's in the insurance revenue. Fundraising, we show it as net, but fundraising gross, they actually had gross proceeds this year of $51,648. But net $23,980. And then finally, in other revenue, that is where we've stuck the lease proceeds for the year that we've recognized, which was $22,706. So the remaining was truly miscellaneous type income. Overall though, there was a net loss. In the expenses category, we break them down in program and supportive. We actually have another page which will break down the expenses more. It's called the functional expenses. But you can see the net increase, decrease in net assets was a loss of $39,833 in the without donor restrictions. And so your net assets, again, that's like your equity, without donor restrictions went from $88,000 to $48,000, and the with donor restrictions on the ESD funds actually increased to $191,000. I do want to bring up, slightly backtracking a little bit, sorry, on page 3, the balance sheet, or again, your statement of financial position, you can see two lines. One is in the assets and one is in the liabilities. It's called due from VFD. Do y'all see that for $108,000?
Mm-hmm.
Each year we need to reconcile between the two funds to try to track what were the unrestricted expenses and what belonged to the ESD as expenses, and try to figure out if any of the funds were used by the ESD and they shouldn't have been, right, for payroll and those causes. So what we found when we balanced the funds was that the unrestricted column actually owed the ESD column $108,000. So essentially they spent more than what you had provided for those allowable type expenses. Now that doesn't mean that they're going to have $108,000 in their bank account to repay the ESD. It's just a balancing of the funds and noting that they likely spent outside of the contract for payroll and other expenses to cover it. And we'll bring that up again in the material weakness letter if we go over the letters. We did identify that as a material weakness. Okay, on page 5, this is your statement of functional expenses. I don't have much to go over on this, but this is the breakdown of the expenses that were kind of grouped into two segments on the statement of activities. This is largely given to us by management. We help identify which columns, between administrative and firefighting and prevention, but some of them are splits, like a percentage split on saying, okay, this percent would be admin, this percent would be firefighting. But this largely comes from, not Nancy at this time, but management at that time. And then page 6 is your statement of cash flows. There's not much to go into here. It's just showing the increases, decreases of cash for the year. And then the last few pages of the audit are the notes. A lot of them are boilerplate. They don't change much year to year. But note 10, as we referenced earlier, is the updated fraud note for the audit. And that's on page 12. Through the audit and through reviewing the internal, I'll call it internal review that you did and that the VFD did and submitted to the insurance company, after the audit, we identified misappropriation totaling $64,716 in this fiscal year. In the following fiscal year, we believe to be a $14,622 in fiscal year 24-25. But again, the department did submit an insurance claim, and they were subsequently reimbursed $76,023. And the $14,622 is unaudited because we haven't audited 24 and 25. We're just going off of the insurance reimbursement, the internal review that was done. But the $64,716 is our audited figure for fraud for 23-24. And then I guess in note 11, subsequent events, page 13, just kind of recapping the prior year. In 22-23, we had identified $11,018 in fraud. So I think the notes kind of recap the 3 years. It's not believed that it extends beyond 24, 25 in this particular case. But again, we haven't audited outside of this year. Any questions on the audit report itself for the VFD?
We recognize that due to the fact of what we were told of quote unquote fraud, we came up with what we were told on that point in time was a total of 76,000 and some change. But we're basing that off the fact of what was reimbursed by the insurance company.
Correct. The review actually showed more than the 76,000 through the 3 years, but you were only reimbursed the 76,000.
Okay.
I just added the three numbers up, the 64,716, the 14,622, and the $11,018.
Okay.
90,356.
Right.
So that's what we're looking at for a total of 3 years is over $90,000.
And that was the internal review.
Okay.
The audited numbers actually reflected a little less than the internal review. As we kind of mentioned last time, that the internal review thought anything that was paid outside of a normal cycle, tomato, would be fraudulent. But when we actually looked at the contract, we noticed that there was a discrepancy between what was claimed to be fraud versus what was outside of our contract. So when we kind of totaled it up, we were getting closer to what you actually received to be the total fraud. Mm-hmm. So the difference between what maybe would be more than what you received, the difference between what may be fraudulent activity compared to what you receive from the insurance company may be negligible or minor.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I get that, I think, but I think what we're looking at, what we want to know was what the total dollar amount, because we felt like we're being led to believe that everything that was fraud was reimbursed through the insurance, but if you're finding outside of that, that's totally 90,000. That's something that is on a different topic of conversation. Sure. But we just need to know. That's what we were wanting to verify, is that there's more than what. Because I mean, there's been a lot of conversation. We know that, and so, but the further we get away from it, it's bits and pieces that we forget and we lose, and so that's why me asking that question is to confirm that with 3 different numbers, based off of what you're totaling, is over $90,000 in fraud that we can substantiate.
$90,000 per the internal report.
That's an internal review, that's not audited numbers.
Right.
So what I think I understand what you're saying is that in the internal review, pretty much anything that was paid to that person was considered fraud. And what they came up with is said, well, actually some of it was legit.
Okay.
There were some legit expenses and
Well,
paid
sure.
to her. And so when you subtracted those, the two numbers now are very close to the 76,000 that they came up with fraud.
Okay.
But the 13,000, I believe, let me read the right number.
14,622.
Right, so that's unaudited, so that could, you're right, be included to where the total fraud then could have been 90-something thousand, you only received 76. You're correct.
Yeah. So there was not, in theory, based off of what we've been, not from you, but from others, that where we received reimbursement of all of the fraud, in theory, we didn't. But
Yeah, you
based
might
off
have
of
missed, what, 10,000-ish or so,
Yeah.
but again, you're right, that's just up to date.
That's
and
to
the
date.
internal report was much higher, and for some reason, all you received was 76. So
Right.
I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
why they decided
And that's
that.
fine. That's just something that we just need to know for other conversations. And top of the fact that we still haven't got 24 to 25 or 25's audit, which
Right.
could carry some more over to that. Potentially.
Potentially. You know, to put it in perspective for this audit year in particular, I believe Xavier had only found 1,700 something in addition to what the internal report said. In additional expenses that were related to fraudulent activity. Of course, that's coupled with, you know, the decrease in what she was paid contractually, but you're right. So we did try to expand upon the procedures, and there
Good.
could be more, but throughout the 2 years that we've done so far, we haven't found much more than what the internal report said.
Okay. Good. but we're looking at, I guess that's what I want, is we want to make sure that we're giving you the due diligence from an auditor standpoint, that you are looking at everything to try to determine if there's anything that may not have been caught or may have been overlooked.
Right, and I provided kind of a letter to summarize what exactly we looked at and totals to kind of give you a scope of, okay, what did our firm not look at? You know,
Right.
what is those percentages as well? So I think that'll detail out, hopefully, most of the questions
Yes,
that
sir.
you're asking.
Okay.
And then, just to recap what we had talked about last week, I spoke to Randy Brown again.
Yes.
And told him that after this meeting, we would have the audit and information to provide him and the DA. And so I'll get with him tomorrow or the next day and get that information to him.
Good.
The intent on that was to give him what we have so far, which is, we believe is most of everything that was out there, to let them, not him, but the DA tell us, do they believe we need to go further or not? Or is this gonna be enough to prosecute the case to the fullest?
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're gonna wait for them to tell us, before we,
Throw money after money?
yes. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I don't know what the law is, so, I mean, maybe the law, you know, what, if you find another 10 grand, is that gonna make any difference in them prosecuting the case? I don't know. I'll let them tell us that.
And then we included 2 management letters. You know, there's not a whole lot of difference from the last time we talked about them, but I did add to the material weakness the breach of contract, where, you know, we tried to analyze how the funds were used, and we were seeing that the funds were used outside of the contract, which is the $108,000 that we
That's
mentioned.
good information.
They might have been using more of our funds than that outside of the contract, but when you net it all out, it comes to 100.
And there could be some wiggle room there. Maybe you guys would have said a certain contract expense that says contract salaries, you know, may or may not have actually been allowed under the contract, but we took anything that looked like payroll and we put it under that column, and that's how we balanced the funds. But we did notice that this year.
Anything else?
So we're still waiting for 25.
We haven't been engaged to perform that audit,
You have to sign an engagement letter with him if
Okay.
y'all want the 24, 25 to.
so I told Debbie, like, I'll stick it out with y'all to the end if that's y'all's wish. I mean, I know with the state of the VFD, I was just gonna let you guys weigh cost benefits to an audit, and whatever y'all's decision, I'll assist in any way I can. But again, just looking at how much more necessarily an audit's finding versus what the internal audit already detailed, and given the limited time of that next fiscal year, we'll just have to determine whether or not that's what y'all wanna pursue.
How many months is it?
There's only about 3 months
3
that
months.
she was here in that next
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
well,
Carl.
I'll let y'all get to it.
Appreciate it.
I hope
Thank
it
you, sir.
helps,
Thanks
and,
for coming
yeah, I hope the letter will detail out what y'all need to know.
Good.
Oh, this is a trip home?
Thank you.
That's true.
Okay, good night.
Yeah, he's got a lady that's going to take over his work. He has a lady who's going to take over his work.
Oh, really?
So he's staying home.
Okay. Minutes were provided, everyone. Is there any discussion, corrections, anything in the minutes? If not, I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes from the March 17th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 17th meeting.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Okay. There's a couple of things I'm going to note as we go through the financial report, and then we'll discuss a recommendation that I'm making.
Okay.
If you look, this is for 331. We are now at only needing 12% of our current taxes to come in for M&O, and that sets us at $713,731. of the 810 that we're expecting to get in. Delinquent taxes only have 9% left. And that's kind of unusual for delinquents, so we may go over what I estimated to be the delinquent taxes that would coming in. And then the penalty and interest are listed. Under the other income, I want to explain that we had the 813 that we had already received, but we also had the sale of the SCBA equipment. That was $60,000. I grouped that in there because at this time, there was not an account set up for sale of assets. And that's going to be one of my recommendations to do after visiting with Carl about it. Now, there are other assets that have been sold, $47,940 or something like that, in the vehicles that was sold.
Yes.
But it does not show up until April because we paid them the 1st of April for the 225 minus that amount. So we paid them, as you noted in last month when we said that we would be paying $182,810 to them. So that will be grouped when this correction is made. That will be grouped with the total sale of assets. Most of the time, you put the sale of assets under your balance sheet accounts because you have those assets accumulated there. You have, equipment and you have vehicles, but we didn't have them accumulated there at the time. We knew that they kind of belonged to us, but they were under the Volunteer Fire Department books. So they gave us the money for it, so it's income to us. But the asset had not been recorded in our books at that time. I know that's a bunch of accounting garbage to y'all, but that's kind of the way it is. Okay, and then under the expenses, everything is pretty well the same, except if you will look under insurance. This happened some months ago, but we are overdrawn in insurance by $1446, and that's because of the extra insurance that we paid when the ESD1 came, and we paid the balance of what it was going to be to have the vehicles under our policy for the next, period of time. Under travel and meetings, there's a bill that you will approve tonight that is for $53.21. That was for the convention expense. I'm going to pass that down during the meeting. I would like each one of you to look on that, see what was charged for you, and just make sure it looks good. I think it looks good, but just so that you realize what it was. So $53.21, and that's going to way overdraw that account, because we only allotted $500 for travel and meetings at the time. We're not thinking of going to a conference at that time.
We never had the safety here where everybody wanted to go. So, but it was good because everybody got their hours for the next 2 years.
Yeah, so what we did do is we approved the travel, but what we didn't do is adjust the line, so we're gonna do that.
So we just need to adjust the line?
Well, and that comes with the recommendation.
Yeah.
So basically, we have good revenue that has come in. We're at $1,077,000 that's come in revenue, and we've spent $510,000, so we're at $567,000 over before the capital expenditures that we spent in the last few months. So our income over expenses right now is at $525,000. On the back, you can see the little bit of money that's come in from the delinquent collections for the last several years. And as I mentioned each time, that's going to be there each month until all those delinquent taxes are paid out.
And that's dwindling down, that number?
Pardon?
The number just keeps getting lower?
Well, as far as what is owed to us,
The delinquent?
yes. This is what we've collected this year on them. And so it should keep getting larger.
Well, it'll get larger that, but I mean, each month, it'll start trickling down because there's not
Yes,
too much anymore.
yes. They give us a report that shows how much delinquent taxes we have, and I can provide that to you if you'd like to see the delinquent taxes over the
It might not
years.
necessarily get smaller because what if a bunch of people come in and pay delinquent taxes all
Yeah.
in a month?
Right, catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And each year, more delinquent taxes are added, but we will not have any more delinquent taxes go into this account.
41,
into this account because it'll only be for the years that we had the firehouse. That'll be for that only time. If you notice, our bank accounts are very heavy. This was as of 3/31, and there's been a lot of money paid out of it since then. But we had $1,133,000 in all accounts. Goodness. And then the sales tax revenue that came in, I'm sorry, that says February, it's actually what came in, it will be coming in April, will be 24,000.
And that's for April, not February, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I listed all the payments that have gone out, and I did list the ones that we approved last month, which was the ESD quarterly payment, which was the $182,210, that was minus the revenue that had come in, and then Morton Moreau that we had approved last month. So all of the revenue, all of the expenses is a whole lot more than the 18,000 showing, but you'll notice I said that's what you're approving tonight because what we had already paid was 201,000. But that amount, 201 plus the 18, is what has already come out of that 958,000 that was in the money market, the American Momentum account at the 1st of April. You understand what I mean? So we actually have closer to 779,000
Right.
in the American Momentum account. I do have a recommendation I'm making for some budget amendments, but I don't know if you want to approve this statement first.
What, did we, or did we not approve to transfer money over to a new?
We agreed we were going to, and we had to have the application. I have the application with me tonight that has to be signed.
Oh, okay.
Did y'all see that?
Well, you just approved applying so far.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, all right then. So the
I
18,439.
think we go ahead and
That's the amount.
approve the treasurer's report as presented, and then make the recommendations for amendments to the budget
Okay.
afterwards.
I'm trying to,
It's the 18,439, that's the current expenses that you need to approve.
I know, I'm just looking at the box. So I have to we would do all the math that's in the box except not the 182,210.
And the 432.75,
Those were already paid?
those two. They were approved last month.
Oh.
Because I was just going, wait, those numbers?
They
But
were-
that's part of this
They
budget,
were
though,
approved in March, but paid the 1st of April.
right? Oh, okay.
Approved, okay. Approved to be paid less.
So do we have to, even though we
They were gonna come due way before this
Oh,
meeting, and so
right.
we approved it last month.
No, I
But you have to
understand that.
include it in this budget though, right? Or no? Or was it already in last month's budget?
Because the
No,
checks
it's
went
not.
out beginning
It's
of
not.
April.
It's not showing up on here because
March?
this is as of March.
Yes, ma'am.
And the checks were not written until
Right,
April.
April, so we,
So they will show up in April's.
I understand. I just wanted to double check and make sure I was,
So you're approving bills of 18,439.
the rest of it adds up to that. I will make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and pay the bills to total $18,439.54.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Now, if you look on the other sheet that I gave you, because of these overages, normally we're not off that much in our budget accounts, so we don't make any budget amendments during the year. We make them at the end of the year to get the things balanced out. But I felt like these needed to be made because they're substantial. So the first one would be to increase the budget account for insurance by $2,000, which would cover the 1446 overage that we have right now and give us a little extra there. The second one is to increase the travel meetings budget. It's at $500, and I want to increase it $5,500 because the bill is, $5,300? $5,300. And that gives us a little more in case there's something there. And then I mentioned about the sales of equipment and everything. I'd like to set up an account that is a revenue account for the sale of assets And then the $60,000 will be put into that account, as well as the $47,000 that was for the sale of the other pieces of equipment. So you will be able to see in the revenue that we are receiving for the sale of assets that is coming from the Volunteer Fire Department.
How much for the insurance line to increase?
The insurance line is $2,000.
On this page right
Do you have that sheet?
Oh, you have the whole sheet.
here. In your
I
packet.
gave you one.
Yes, ma'am, I just didn't notice.
Do you, here.
I was just trying to write up a motion.
So the red lines are what pretty much would be the motion.
Those are red, so that's important.
Because that amount is increasing our revenue a lot, and we just need to see why the revenue is going up so much, that
Yeah.
it's not, property
We'll
tax
show
and
it and
things
it'll
like that.
be deducted, right?
We're over 100,000 right now in those sales.
I will make a motion. You ready? I'll make a motion to increase the current budget for insurance by $2,000, increase the travel and meetings budget by $5,500, and set up a revenue account for the sale of assets and record these sales there, both past and future.
I'll second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Todd, I don't know if it's on the agenda. Do you want to discuss the transfer of the paperwork that I need for the transfer of the other
Oh, yes.
vehicles and
Sure.
stuff? I don't know that that's on there, but I can cover it under mine. It's just information,
Yeah.
but I do need one, I guess you call it a motion.
For
And-
letters.
At the Volunteer Fire Department meeting on the 14th, they voted to transfer all the vehicles that were left under the Volunteer Fire Department to the ESD, which is about 4 vehicles right now. And I've started working on the paperwork. It's a lot.
I thought so.
Well, I mean, it's just several pieces of paper
Yeah.
for each one, because you have the title itself that needs to be, changed and signed. You have the transfer, the paper for the transfer title that has to be signed. But now, because it is a gift and we're not getting money for the things, because we already paid something for these along the way, then I have to get an affidavit of gift that needs to be signed too. And that's not a problem, we can do all that, but along with those things, somebody needs to be assigned as the person that's authorized to sign those papers
President.
for each one. So, the fire department chose Jeff to be the person to sign for the fire department. The ESD needs to assign a person to do that for the ESD, because those people need to go before notary and have their signatures notarized on that gift especially.
And we can't reach out for myself.
And
No.
it has been recommended that Ken be the one to do it for the ESD.
I can't do
I
it.
disagree.
I can't do it for the ESD.
Why can't you?
That's conflict of interest.
It'd be a conflict because he's on the board. He's,
Well, Jeff is on the board too.
well,
Well, for him to sign him over as the board for the VFD, I think it's okay for
No,
that.
I get that.
But to receive,
I see
for
what
the
you're
ESD
saying. And have both people on the VFD board
Ah,
and the
okay.
SD board.
So who wants to
I'll-
volunteer? I
I'll
just
do
need
it.
to
I'll
sign.
do it.
I only wonder, and I hadn't thought about that, I hadn't thought about this until now, and I knew this was gonna be brought up, but can we do that if it's not on the agenda?
Well, it was just to do a letter to, but I don't know. We're gonna have to, I have the letter, but we're gonna have to change it anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change it anyway, might as well
Okay.
hold off.
put it under new business or?
I would put it under new business.
And that's gonna delay it for some time then, because that'd be another full month away. There was some talk about one of them maybe looking at being sold or something, and we were just trying to get them transferred into the ESD's name before anything
What do you think?
was done with any of them.
But if we put them up for sale and sell them, the DFD
This is
can still
something
sell
that
them
we-
straight
And
from
then,
DFD.
and then you could give us
Right,
the money, yeah.
Right.
And I'll tell you the ones that we have,
This
and I'm
was
pretty
something that we
sure.
already agreed to in
Right.
previous meetings. So it's, to me,
We
it's
haven't
just
had
following up
any-
on that.
We haven't had any board action on transporting titles from the VFD
No,
to
not,
us.
not that.
We
but
agreed to it.
We agreed to sell that equipment.
Okay, wait, we're talking about selling equipment, or are we talking about transferring titles?
Just transferring time.
We're talking about transferring the titles from all the other vehicles, right, over to us.
That's just the
It's just
back of
not
the house.
anywhere on the agenda, and it hasn't been yet, is the only thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we can wait, but
You're
the
talking
ones,
about-
the ones that I have are
The current
8120,
Are we still, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
the 2012 Chevy.
Yeah, I think we need that.
I think it says SFR, was that stand for? Rescue?
First
Something.
responder.
First responder. Okay. Thank you. Matt put these down so Matt knows what he's doing.
I'm all for
Uh,
doing it,
And I
just wanna.
and I think part of it too, that is,
Do it right.
that's a decision that has been made by the Volunteer Fire Department
Yes.
Board. And all we need to do is just have one person sign. So it's not really anything we're deciding here. One person just from this board's gonna sign to
Yes.
accept.
Yeah, but I still think that Abby's right. We still need it to be,
Drag it out so that.
well, I mean, it's been
Why
this
they put
long,
me
so
in
what's
federal
another
Well, I
one?
mean, I don't,
Is it gonna change anything or what
does
we
it have
do?
to be a designator?
I,
Or can it just automatically be the president that would
It
sign?
can't
and say-
automatically, I don't think.
No, it has to be assigned and voted on. and-
I don't know, they just said they need to have a letter or something that shows who's been designated. to
Just
sign.
like whenever I had you guys approve for me to be the signer
Yeah.
to transfer that other title before,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah, I guess to do that letter, yeah.
We have one title that is under the ESD's name, and that's for the 8220, the engine 8220. Again, it's the 8120, the 2012 Chevy, that's the 8320 heavy brush truck, the 1991. The brush truck 8120, the 2018 Ford,
Mhm.
and the 2008 Spartan, which is the engine 8120. There's another one that we found, I'm not sure what we need to do with it. It says it is rescue number 240. It's a 1985 Chevy utility.
We don't have that in our fleet. I
Okay,
think that's
so
the
it's
one-
probably been sold or
That's that
something.
old one that was
Yeah.
from the other station, I believe.
So,
probably way back in the day.
They may have applied, maybe they couldn't find it back then, they applied for a new title.
I don't know, I
Possible.
mean, we haven't talked about it, but. Okay, so we'll just hold all of this.
Yeah. We'll move that next month.
Okay.
So is it all for you, Nancy?
I think so,
That moves us to
not listening.
ESD.
You did a pretty good.
Staying with financials, I'll let Stephanie do our financial report.
Attached is the budget versus actual for October 25 to March of 26 fiscal year. You have paid for the third quarter contracted services April to June on April 1st. I just added that because we're in April too, but like,
Which one is that we're looking at, so I know which one to pull up? I'm sorry.
that's okay. Hold on.
Okay, this-
This one, hold on.
I thought we were gonna get the paper copies this time around.
I have them right here for you, I'm sorry. Do you see this, Jerry? It should be under there labeled as 6. 7.
Oh.
7.
Give it up.
Chief report. Your chief report? No?
There should be, it's not under
Oh,
Chief's
Mark,
report, but there's another
Mark, I
one.
found it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll figure it out, don't worry.
I
And
know.
I'm gonna
I
get
have to
somebody over
write
here
on
with
mine.
paper, I'm gonna get her get it where she.
No, I have it, I have it, but I can't write
We
on
had
it.
tablets, computers, you know, I'm just
But
saying.
even then, you can't write on it.
You can. You
The new
can.
ones you can.
Anyway, go
Okay,
ahead.
that's okay. You have paid for the third quarter contracted services, which is April to June. And then you have a total sale of assets of $42,790. And the total for our payroll, including benefits, is $391,745.71, which is 47.61% of the total budget, so we're right on track. We have used a total of $3,893.63 for both diesel and unleaded fuel along with DEF. Our apparatus maintenance totals $19,125.15. So the overall total expenses are $437,328.41, which keeps us right at the 48.67% of the budget for the year.
Are we halfway through the fiscal year or less? September, right?
September 30th.
March is
January,
6 months.
February.
March is 6
March is
months.
6 months, so they're halfway through.
So about halfway.
Very good.
So that's all I have on the financials. So when you go to his chief's report, you go back up to that other tab.
Where it says chief report. Go ahead.
Alrighty, my administrative duties for the month were reviewing the nearest fire reports daily throughout the month. We were given a little bit of curveball, so I had meetings with vendors for new apparatus options.
All out of color, we're trying to conserve money.
Yeah, absolutely. All for fuel.
Also attended the monthly chiefs meeting. I oversaw maintenance for the apparatus on engine 8120, engine 8220, and brush 8120 that we'll discuss later on in old business and new business. I did want to let everybody know that I'm not sure if you saw the Facebook post on ESD1 page, but we did have a volunteer academy start. So throughout the county, we're going to have 21 individuals attending Fire Academy. They're going through their chapters right now. When they get to a certain point, they'll be able to come out and they're doing some skills at the stations, but they'll be able to do some light ride outs and assist. So if you see any extra personnel around town, that's what they're doing.
Great. I would encourage to get with Ms. Kincaid and add some of that to the positive that we're doing out here. Well, for Medina County, not for ESD2, but Medina County. Anyway.
I talked to Ken earlier this week, and we did want to say that we had a volunteer at Devine that is now employed at ESD1. She was hired as a full-time firefighter.
That's great. That's awesome.
Great.
Operations and training in March, 18 certified personnel completed 220.2 total hours of combined hands-on and classroom training for the month. 2 volunteers completed 5.5 hours of fire training. They also contributed 22.5 hours of work, saving the ESD $787.50 if otherwise staffed by full-time employees. ESD2 units responded to 57 calls for service with an average response time of 7.1 minutes from tone to arrival. For the month, 11 of those were fire-related, with one of those a structure fire in a local business that saved the structure. 6 of the fires were grass/brush fires. 1 fire contained in a train running parallel to 35. I think you were there too. And 3 construction/utility fires. On status of district assets, some of this is in the old business and new business. If you want me to save it for then, or I can talk about it now.
I'll just talk about it all now.
Yeah.
Just addressing some of those, engine 8120 was back in service as first out engine. We took it to the shop. We wanted to get that AC looked at that's down before it really starts getting hot.
Yep.
So M&W over across town took a look at it. The clutch and the air compressor is shot, and it has a pretty good leak of Freon in it. So we have our ESD1 mechanic shopping around, see if he can get a good price on a compressor. Said he was taking a look at the Freon lines in it to see if we could get those built. custom to that engine. That way we can get it totally fixed. We had engine 8220, which is now, since we took the other one to the shop, we put it as first out. It is back operational. That was the one that was giving us a lot of problems. Replaced the injector doser for the DEF after the NOx sensor was replaced. You know, we had that NOx sensor replaced. We thought it might fix the issue. Took a further look, and that's what was wrong with it. It's running really good. Brush truck 8120. This is the one that we had a transmission issue. It was over at Chaparral Ford for about a month. We were looking at about $14,000 to get that fixed over at Chaparral. We shopped around, had someone in Medina County that could take a look at it. They totally rebuilt that transmission in it for $6,000. So we had $6,000 for that, and then $350 to have it towed to the shop. It is back as first out brush truck. We had the 12 SCBA sold. Check was provided to Ms. Pepper.
By the way, that went into the savings account. It didn't go into the operating account. We decided to put it savings, get a little bit of interest on it.
It's nice to get some positive news about our apparatus.
Yeah.
Getting repaired and fixed.
Another positive I kind of wanted to review was, you know, we purchased something that was really considered EMS equipment a couple months back, which was a cardiac monitor. So I talked to the lieutenants that are out in the fire engine daily. They're running to some EMS calls, and just wanted to assure you that I know Lieutenant Capps talked to you, and that thing is being used 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day on some of these calls. So it's helping the citizens. It's a worthwhile piece of equipment.
And a lot of that's because we tend to beat the ambulances to a lot of calls.
You know, when you have ambulances running and constantly, you have the 2 that are out of the city. We'll have one that's dropping down to Natalia Station 2 from Lacoste. It takes it a little bit more time, so we'll run that engine to EMS call, covers it for 4 or 5 minutes. And that way we can get a good initial assessment of that patient with that equipment.
I wonder,
Pass them on.
do we have a particular truck and particular personnel that go to the EMS calls? Or I guess my real question, the heart of it is, do we ever risk our fire trucks being way over here, responding to an EMS call, which I'm not against, and there's a fire across town that makes their response time longer or no?
Anytime you're anywhere in the city, there's so many variables that can show up with when a certain call drops. It may speed that process or that response time also. You may be over here and a fire drops right when you're done and you're 2 minutes faster to it. So it's just kind of variable.
I have had a question or two about fire trucks getting to scenes like with ambulances or even riding right behind the ambulance, and kind of that wondering came up, like if they go with the ambulance over here and then there's a fire across town, you know, that kind of question. So that's the only thing I was kind of wondering about.
Does that kind of fall into what we talked about before about the chess game of moving?
Yes.
Okay, you want to address that or talk about that?
What specifically?
Well, I know we talked about that before, just as another note. When there's a fire call or when there's a EMS call, if they have an EMS call that's going to be out and that fire truck has to go out there, they'll move a truck from another district to another area and stage them halfway. So that's kind of what I was.
I'll kind of give you an explanation of that. We had that structure fire that I explained earlier. We had a unit from Lacoste, a fire truck from Lacoste, and a unit from Hondo. Once we got that scene stabilized, that Hondo truck could be released. They just came back to our station. That way, they're dedicated to that fire, the ESD2 unit. This Hondo unit can run in its place.
So y'all think all of that stuff?
Yes.
I still think I mean, you look at the number of calls that we're responding to today than what we were last year, the numbers are definitely down because of the fact of managing of where, based off of what the calls are versus just rolling at every call.
Well, that's, I
So-
may have misunderstood. I thought we were pretty much rolling with every ambulance call. But we're
No.
only going if they
Priority
really
calls.
don't, if they need us.
Priority, heart attacks, strokes.
Just like this last one, you heard that they called for the ambulance, but our fire truck went too, because it was, they said a possible stroke.
Right.
Oh, I see.
So they went with them just
So
in case they need extra
previously,
hands.
we were seeing calls that were, rolls that were over 100 calls per month at times, and they were for a stubbed toe or a bruised
Sure.
ankle.
Yeah.
Stuff
No,
like
and my
that.
question still is, I guess, to some extent, if the ambulance is able to make it, then maybe there's a question of why would we also go if they're able to make it? But then I think maybe it's really difficult to communicate. By the time we figure out the ambulance can't make it on time, we're not useful anymore. So
Once we
just go.
ensure that patient's stabilized, we can cut free.
Yeah.
That ambulance has that call from then on.
Just double coverage to make sure they get the fastest response possible.
That or priority call, so like a stroke it's gonna require more than 2 people. It becomes an airway management, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so as soon as we know that it doesn't need more than the 2, but have them there available. But it's only I think there's 6 or 7 specific calls that we send a fire truck to.
Okay, so it's not even just about timing, it's about people. How many
That's correct.
people, how many hands and feet you need.
Yes, ma'am.
That helps me understand more.
Plus, with a lot of those that are responding are dual certified. You know, you have 4 EMTs that are on the scene.
Yeah, and you
for the
have
most
some,
part.
say you have a CPR call, and you have 2 on the ambulance, another ambulance coming to assist, and then you have the engine. They're dual certified, so they can be getting IVs or intubations or pushing medications, stuff like that, to assist when they're just gonna be transported in the ambulance, so the fire truck can bug out after that call.
I have a question, but I'm trying to make sure my question is worded the right way, so it doesn't come across the wrong way. If fire responds to a call waiting for a unit, EMS unit, what could, and there's multiple questions here, so bear with me. What is could be the time frame from the time that our fire gets there versus an EMS gets there? Because if you're out on a call, you're saying we're there, we're talking about time. I mean, we definitely see that our response time is, we're bringing those numbers down. It's 7 minutes. It used to be, I think, 11 or 12, and now we're seeing better calls. But we do know that the EMS is all over the place at times. They're there for different calls and stuff. How long do they sit there? Do we have a fire that's waiting for a bus to come in, and then possibly that box takes over and releases? What is their delay? How much would you, I mean, we're looking
A
at,
delay actually on scene?
yeah.
It just depends on the condition of the patient. If it's a normal, everyday call, they're gonna immediately leave.
All right. I just want to, we know that the monitors, adding those to the trucks have been
Yeah.
definitely an asset for our community.
Mhm.
I just want it to be clear, I want it to be known that it's a partnership between ESD 2 and 4, and I would like to hope that when we're at meetings of 4, that you're relaying it to the board at 4, that the level of support is there from 2. It's not all just being one-sided. It's a team effort, what I'm getting at. I just want to make sure that we're relaying that message to the board at 4.
I sure will.
Does that make sense, guys? I mean, I think what we're doing here and what we're accomplishing are good things for this community. But it's a handshake. It's both ways, and I just want to make sure that that's my thought.
And this is pretty standard practice, right? It's just maybe newer to us than Devine. I mean, I think it's maybe been in just the last couple of years that that we've started to see the fire trucks showing up with the ambulances as much. And that's when people have started to wonder, like, hey, they're wanting full-time firefighters, and now they're this is just what people say,
Right.
chasing ambulances, and that's not what's happening. So I think getting clarification in here is really, really helpful, so that way we can go out.
Pretty standard.
And when we hear that language, we can clarify it. This is standard, but it's newer to us because we haven't had full-time staff in the past, and so.
You look at the big
when
cities.
you do, yeah.
You look at city
3 weeks
centers.
ago, I was in Seguin, and a lady had a stroke, and the fire truck was the first one there.
Right.
And here come the bus, not very shortly thereafter, and the fire truck didn't stick around that long. They kind of made sure the stable came in and gave a report to the ambulance people, and they turned around and got their stuff and took off.
And-
So it was just being there and actually seeing how.
And it is a two-way street. While mostly it's the fire crew helping EMS, but on structure fires, it's the EMS crew helping fire. So that's a force multiplier for the fire side also. So,
And again, we continue, there's questions that are being asked, we know that it's continued because there's so much annuity to this that we're trying to do the best that we can to answer these questions and to provide that, but I think the management that we have today is so much better, so much advanced, and we're looking at the bigger picture of what we're doing the correct way versus maybe what we've done in the past.
And maybe it's been hammered into everyone's brains that we're trying to give the citizens the best care possible.
Absolutely.
Whether that's fire or EMS. And if we can go out and help to make that care better, because we have more hands-on on a high acuity call, it's what's best for them. And that's what we care about.
That's right.
And see, one of the things too, like we were talking about stationing other equipment, if our fire truck is out, they can have another unit come down from McCoss and whatnot to cover it, where we never had that before. If we were out on a call, tough luck for the other guy that, it's gonna take a while to get the fire. Well, that's no longer the case.
Absolutely. Chief, I really appreciate your report. I'd really like to hear about the in-house, the class that you were talking about, the training, I forget what academy, the volunteer academy. I think that's some great news to hear. I mean, I'm sure
And the
that-
volunteer that was hired for ESD1 was Lauren
Story.
Story, if you remember
Oh,
her.
yes.
She was the one that was so passionate
Yes.
about the volunteer. I'm
That's
gonna be
awesome.
here. I don't
That's
care
awesome.
what's going on, I'm gonna be here. And
That's
she
great.
ended up getting hired on, so I think that's
And you
awesome.
see that with some of the volunteers that put that effort in and they're dedicated
Absolutely.
and then gets rewarded.
Yes. I'd like to think that our community will look at that as a positive and a win for us all together. That's great.
You gonna give us the project updates too?
Sure. Air compressor delivery estimated last week of April. That was as of last week. I attempted to call him today to get another update. He probably thinks I'm bothering him a little bit too much, but I want to give you all a best report. Last of this month, 1st of May is his estimate. They fixed all the factory issues, so it's been addressed. I have one individual that is reviewing other systems and plotting hydrants throughout the city, and he is now above 50% completion on that. And then our target hazard pre-fire planning estimated at 50% completion also. The lieutenants are doing a good job of getting 1, 2, 3 of those done per shift.
I'm going to ask Jeff to add this comment because of the last conversation we had was prior to this, but the fire plan for what's the plan across? Wilbur Ellis. Do you have, are we good now with that?
It's on the agenda.
Okay.
It's just setting up an appointment with them.
Are they delaying it or are they just?
It's hard to get a hold of anybody to get it, but I've called them a few times and I'll keep on it.
Just, not to throw that out there, but I know that was something that Jeff was pretty passionate about at that meeting that one time, so I just want to make sure we're on top of that.
My first job was in an industrial type environment with facilities like that, and it's hard to coordinate,
Okay,
so.
gotcha.
That's my report.
All right, thank you, Chief. Sir. All right, move on to old business. The first item is A and B we've already covered as part of the Chief's report.
Was there anything you wanted to add to B on 8B?
All right, so we had the 12 sold, and the thought was that we want to, I think we need to wait till,
Do we have to wait for new? Was it down there?
yes.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
C.
Yep, so it was down there.
All right. We'll move on to C right now. Take possible action to adopt a reasonable policy regarding public participation in comments. That was discussed, voted on meeting, I thought, well,
It was discussed.
to adopt one.
So now you have a document that you guys kindly linked in Teams. Thank you.
Yeah.
See?
Because I did not bring paper copies. I emailed you guys, though. I did email you. So this is exactly the school board's policy, except it's just got those last couple of pieces that it makes sense they need to have on there, we probably don't need to have on there, have been taken off.
Okay.
It's very standard. I can go over it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The one question I had, it states that they can speak on anything that's posted on the agenda, right? But
During their time.
Yeah, but they're not to speak on anything that's not an agenda item.
I think they can during or are not on, what if it's on the agenda or it's not on the agenda. They can only speak on agenda items if it's an not an emergency meeting, but a called meeting. So at a regular meeting, this is my understanding, I have to go double check it, but at a regular meeting, they'd be able to speak on any topic. But at a called meeting, they would only be able to speak on the agenda items.
Wasn't it encouraged also that if there's 3 or 4 that are discussing the same item, to try to encourage them to have a spokesperson for that?
And that's here also.
Okay.
And so the other thing that's kind of nice about this policy is that it does give the board president the opportunity to waive and say, hey, we want to know, your thoughts right now. Feel free to raise your hand, stand up, and share your thoughts on this particular item. Or I know that was really handy sometimes when we were discussing budget, and it would give directors an opportunity to speak. Or so this policy is in place, and then as the president might see appropriate to waive it, then they can waive pieces of it as they want to. So, but that as a general rule, a person would sign up before the meeting, would get to speak for up to 3 minutes during that part of the agenda that has got number 3 on our agenda today, recognition of citizens and public comments. So you get up to 3 minutes to speak on anything, unless it's a called meeting, and then you would only be able to speak on the agenda items.
Yeah, the bottom line is we didn't have anything in place. This put something in place. It's one of those things for me is you use it if you need it. If somebody's getting out of hand or whatever, you can always resort back to the policy and say, hey, you got 3 minutes, you got to move on. We really haven't ever had an issue here with that. Even in some of our most contentious meetings when all the problems going on, it was okay. I didn't think anybody was disrespectful, and we let things go longer than 3 minutes, but you know what? Everything was resolved, everybody walked away friends, and it was good. So this is just, so you have that person that wants to push the limits and whatnot, where you have that option, you can tell them, hey, no, we can't do this. So I agree with the policy, and would like to have a motion to go ahead and approve it and implement it.
Anything else you need to add to this? No?
It's fully drafted up for us.
I make a motion that we add the public participation policy into effect. I don't know if there's anything else I need to say.
As written, yeah.
As written.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Great job, Abby.
Yeah, thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Okay, going on to D, apparatus, take possible action related to apparatus issues. Do we need to do something there, or where are we at?
I think we already
Yeah,
discussed
that's all
that.
part of the
Discussed it, we're good?
Yep.
Okay. Invest money in money market. Okay, so we agreed at our last meeting that we were going to invest money into a public money market account in an effort to get greater interest on the cash that we have. And we agreed to use Texas Class, which is an organization that, many organizations around here, public entities are using them, and they make it real easy. And so I have the application, it's all completed. I just have a few folks that need to sign this tonight. Okay, and this will get set up, and then as soon as it's set up, because it's also going to connect our bank accounts to it, so then Nancy can push whatever amounts there. It can go back and forth real easy. A money market account's very liquid.
And that has to be specified because I'm not a signer.
Right. So we would have to tell her. Now, the only thing I see here is they do recommend, and I highly recommend, that we have 2 signers. But you can also have anybody else that would like to on the board can just be a read-only access, can just, at least have access to it, but you're not a signer. Okay, so we need to designate 2 people to sign. Me, I can tell you right now, because of my profession, I cannot be a signer on the account. So it's going to be, Jeff's going to be one of them, because he's the treasurer and he's the investment policy.
No, not Ken. Ken's the treasurer.
Jeff and Ken are easy to hunt down on Wednesday night.
Okay.
Dadgummit.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good with that.
Did you type the names in, or?
Oh, I did, of course.
Okay.
I can change that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the application's been completed. It's just a matter of getting those couple people to sign it, and then the authorized persons to sign. But that's Jeff and Ken. That's easy enough. Let's see, was there any other questions I had? I don't think so. It was this back here.
Oh, because you're the vice.
Yeah.
You're signing because you're the vice.
Oh, we had talked about that last week.
We just approved applying.
Okay.
So applying is approved, right?
Yes.
The question tonight also is, do we want to go ahead and approve that once that account opens to put money in it?
Yes, I think we do.
Yes,
And then how
absolutely.
much, right? That's what I guess that's what I was thinking. on
Well,
that
so we
item.
talked last time, this money's liquid. This is not like it's being tied up. You can get it in a couple of days, literally. It's going to be back in your account. So to me, it doesn't interfere with our reserves, is what I'm saying. So, when I look at the treasurer's report,
Todd, when I was looking at it, we've already paid out, basically, we paid out everything on our budget right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have $530,000 that's showing on this, but we've already paid $225 of it. So let's just say we paid $230,000, $300,000 is what we have left to pay. And so we still will have money coming in. We won't have the influx of money that we've had already because all of our taxes have come in. But I think with the reserves we have, we could easily move $500,000. And I would suggest that part of it be the money market account.
money market account.
That's $100,000 sitting there that's getting
Absolutely.
hardly any interest
Absolutely.
at all.
So then we would increase it to 600,000.
We can.
Yeah, I'd say, take 100 out of there, and then 500 to take 600,000. I'm okay with
Whereas
that.
if we get toward the end of the year and we're kind of low, or we get ready to make a big expenditure, we can transfer the
You
money
just
back.
transfer money back over, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Is there any limit on the number of transfers that you can make?
I didn't see anywhere, no.
No.
Chief says no.
Okay. Sometimes they have like 3
Yeah.
a year.
Right.
Or something like that, but.
No. It's very friendly, very easy to use. So, okay, then somebody want to make a motion to move
I make a motion.
500,000 from the operating account and 100,000 from the money market account.
The money market is 168,000.
Yes.
So we would move all that over?
No, 100,000.
Oh, 100,
Leave
okay.
60, 80,000 of it?
And if we needed to, we could even move most of the rest of it into the checking account if and when we needed it. You know,
Yeah.
like if the checking account is getting low, we've got a big expenditure we want to make. We're not getting much money on that
What is the
money market
money market
account
account?
anyway, so we can move it from there instead of out of the.
Should we just close the money
Because it
market
was paying
account?
a little more than the
Could,
savings
could.
account.
Okay.
But I don't know. Do we even need the money market account
That's
anymore?
what we were just
That's
saying.
what
Do we
I'm-
need
I
it?
don't think we do, but,
Okay.
you know.
I mean,
was
if we don't
thinking
need it.
Let's just take 100,000, take the 68 and put it back to the operating account.
Yeah, that's fine.
That'd be fine.
Yeah,
All right.
One less thing to
Yeah.
reconcile.
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
okay.
All right, I make a motion to move $600,000, including $100,000 from the money market account to the Texas class
Money market.
money market.
Money
Wait,
market.
it wasn't. The other one's not a money market account.
The Texas class is, yes, it is.
But what's the one we're moving 100,000 out
It's a
of?
money market also,
We're
but it's
moving it
just
out
at a
of-
local bank.
Right.
Okay.
The security.
It's not paying much of
This
anything.
one here,
Say
we're
the
taking money out of
Security
this
State Bank.
account, 168. That.
Oh, you got this. I rescind my motion. Jerry's gonna do it.
All right. Okay.
It's just what's going on. Because this isn't gonna be a money market account. It's gonna make more money. What is it called?
Well,
It is a money
it's
market
class-
account.
It's a money market
It's
account, but
just
it's
a better,
just
a higher
class.
yield. Okay.
It's higher, yes.
Okay.
All right, I'll make
Go
a
for it,
motion.
Jerry.
All right, I'll make a motion that we move a total of 600,000 over to the Texas class money market account. 500,000 out of our operating account, 100,000 out of the current money market account through Security Bank. Is that correct? Which would total 600,000.
And move the remainder.
Do you want to transfer the
Well, and then we move the remainder of the security money market account money over to our operating account at American Momentum.
And close that.
And by doing so, close the money market account through Security State Bank.
Yes. All right, I have a motion. I have a second from Ken. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries.
Good job, Jerry.
All right.
Do we need a motion on setting up those officers on that? We do, don't we?
I don't know that we need a motion. I mean, it's just,
Well, they will.
They're gonna
Sometimes
expect
they
the
ask for
minutes, right?
minutes to show who has the authority.
well, we can.
Yeah, we can.
It didn't say anywhere that we needed to do that. It just literally has us list them.
CYA, we can do that.
But we can.
I make a motion that we authorize Ken Nightwinder and Jeff Howard as authorized signers on the Texas class money market account.
And I would add that.
I liked it.
Go ahead. Does anybody else want to be a read-only? Anyone? You?
Put me down. I
All
could
right.
read on it.
Add that to the motion. You'll be
And
read-only.
add Jerry Stevens, and you want to be on that?
I guess I need to be if I'm.
Nancy does.
Nancy Pepper as read-only access.
Yeah. Okay.
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 I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries.
That was a heavy one. You're lifting a lot today.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Okay, that's old business. Moving on to new business. Discuss the purchase of the Midwest 3,000 gallon tender. Everybody was sent the, I believe everybody was sent the,
Oh, hey, all right.
Good job. Wanted to give you all a little bit of a picture of
Thank you.
the layout of it.
test on that. Now let me just go into this because it was part of our discussion last month and that you guys wanted to know about financing. And I did check with the more local bank and they're not going to compete with the others. They were at 6% and where are the stuff you sent me? I didn't print it out.
It's going to be under, is it stock unit?
No, it's not going to have the finance.
From it. Oh.
The other were, don't think, oh, I get it right here.
The stock unit's going to be the engine.
Oh, right.
Here you go, right here. In previous years, when we had bought, we financed the firehouse and when we purchased the one truck we had purchased back, American Momentum had done the financing for us and done very well. And it gave us really good financing. Security State Bank never was interested in it. I went to them, it just wasn't something they wanted to do because they're not making as much money on it. That's the bottom line. They're not. They're doing it more as a public service. And so I went back to Security, American Momentum's not looking at it. I called Philip Fitch, who used to work at American Momentum. He's the one that did the financing on the others, and he said, well, we'll do it. And they did the number, but it was 6%. Where Government Capital, which was a company that I talked to when we were at the safety conference, and this is what they specialize in, they were at, on a 10-year note, 4.945. So significantly better rate on those. And they're offering a 7 to 10-year note, which is normal on something like this. My recommendation would go with the 10-year note, so you're obligated to a smaller payment. If you want to pay more, we can always pay more. There's no prepayment penalty on it. That was the same interest rate on both trucks. So the yearly payment on, this is the Siddons-Martin, the fire truck, is that what we're talking about right now?
Midwest.
No, Midwest.
The Midwest, we get to that one. So the Midwest, we'll say Siddons-Martin on here. So,
It's 423.
I did also provide you with another direct financing option through Midwest.
yeah. So, here it is. Oh, they all say Siddons-Martin on them. But bottom line, interest rates and terms were much more favorable than what I was getting elsewhere.
But Midwest beat those or no, didn't they? Did the ones that Chief sent us over, were they even lower or no?
I mean, it says around 5.5%, so it's higher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Government Capital beat them by a little?
yeah.
Yeah.
It beat them by a full percentage point. So to me, if we're gonna do this, it's certainly, I think we all agreed to this last time, that it fits within our budget. You guys just wanna see some real numbers
Right.
on the financing before you move forward. I think this kind of proves the point that we can afford it. Again, I would recommend going with a 10-year note, just obligate us to less. If cash flow gets more, we can always pay it off, just like we paid the firehouse off early, just like we paid the last truck off early.
Is that for, do you know what the total for both of them? Are you going with both of them?
Yes,
So-
ma'am. That's both.
One thing that you're going to run into, there's a little bit different ways of how these are paid between the tender and the engine. The engine's just going to be outright finance. But with the tender, the way they work it is you pay for the chassis up front. So once it's approved by us, we have 10 days to pay for that chassis. So that gets that out of the way, and that total on this one is $115,794. So you'd actually be financing
That's on the tender?
on the tender, you'd be financing $330,243.
Say the number again, 330.
$330,243.
So for each unit, you're having to pay for the chassis up front?
Not each unit, just the tender.
Oh, just the tender. And that's the tender there, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's, okay. So then it's, you said that's 114,268?
115,794.
Okay.
These are the financing options they're giving us, Nancy, are showing annual payments.
Okay.
What is the annual payment on like everything we're buying, like combined.
Well, we'll have to take the 115 and pay it.
Right.
Well, we're-
That way,
Considering, we're not buying yet, considering.
if we buy. We're taking possible action.
They all say Siddons-Martin fire truck, so I don't know, I can't distinguish which is which on
Is
this.
this what you said?
No. Well, I think I did. Yeah, I don't know, I can't tell. I got 3 different options here. They all say Siddons-Martin fire truck. They're all capital, and government capital.
Okay, I'm looking
One of
at,
them's $549,904.
Is that one close to anything?
So I did resend this to you. That was the original. Remember that original one was sold?
right,
That price actually dropped.
oh,
So we're down to 542, 547. And that was sent by email right after I received it.
And they'll have it by October, you said?
With this one, it got moved back, since we waited that month. Somebody bought that one in the line, so we moved back one. So we're looking at January.
okay, so this is the one that's this Siddons-Martin, it says Siddons-Martin on it.
That's the engine.
That's the engine.
Did y'all have any questions about the tender while we're waiting? Other than what I explained to you last
That
time?
one's the one that shows, that's the ladder storage on the side there?
This side is gonna be the tank that drops down. That's gonna be the $3,000,
Tank.
3,000 gallon.
Gotcha.
I'm still confused. I still have 3 financing options on there for 3 different apparatuses. One of them's for $201,000,
You can find
one of
another
them's for
one.
$250,000, and one of them's for $549,000.
Were you looking at a brush truck too?
Those 2 were the brush trucks we were looking at.
The 250 and the 201.
Yeah, those aren't anything we're
I
looking at.
guess I'm just totally.
Since we got our new one, since we got ours fixed. So on the other side will be,
So on
look into that and it'll have the.
It'll be similar to that, and it'll be ladders that drop down. So that is a Freightliner tandem axle chassis, like we spoke about before. You have minimal storage on each side. That's more for equipment for setting up water supply and such. We can, and I've already talked to him about color scheme and striping, personalized stuff on it. So
Stephanie, can
You're
you,
looking at.
That is not necessarily what it's gonna look like.
Total payment.
Okay.
For 2? For 2, yeah. $71,000 here on.
And that's got all the lights we need.
all the lights you need,
What else are we gonna have to provide to outfit it, to roll?
we have everything on hand.
We already have
And
everything.
this doesn't take into account.
They do provide the ladders,
yeah,
so.
It's gonna be less than $150,000 a year.
I don't know, probably a silly question, but are they ladders that you're gonna use?
Yes,
I mean, I know you would use ladders, but I'm saying the ones they're providing, they're
oh, this, okay, so this is.
quality ladders that you would
So we
use.
did.
yes, they're gonna be the same thing we have on our end.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Based on 549.
Right.
A lot of times you get, well, yeah, we'll throw those in. You would never want to climb on it, you know?
Oh, no, we're not gonna run with equipment we wouldn't use.
Okay.
Tell them what you're.
There was no changes to it, it's the same Cummins engine,
Allison,
yep, same transmission.
The next time they recount, which will be in July, August.
So our $500,000 or more fund balance kind of situation, is that based on money that we've had, like accumulated in other years that we haven't spent to date? Or is that money that comes, like we can count on kind of keeping on coming in annually?
The amount that, the actual that we
Right.
have. Well, the financial, like this year, shows that we're, we have an excess of a lot of money based on what we're bringing in, and then we're bringing in more than what we actually budgeted to bring in. So the reserve that we have is from other years.
I have a question. I know we're talking budgets and stuff, but I'm gonna throw a kink in this question here because,
Don't, next.
oh no, I got you. You know, when all this started, we started taking over items and things from VFD. We know that there's money over on the VFD side in an account somewhere. Is there anything over there that could potentially help us move forward with these finances?
We don't have a lot in the, we have like 60,000 right now.
Oh, that's it.
That's what we have.
I thought there was more
And
than
that's not increasing. We get 1,700 a month.
We've already gathered over 100,000 just selling stuff too.
Well,
There's 100,000,
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it'll all come back to
What about
y'all
the-
because we'll owe you.
The properties, the building.
So I guess what I'm wondering is, if the payments, like we're replenishing and updating the fleet, it needs to be done, right? For 10 years, we're gonna pay $150,000 a year. Can we count on that we're gonna have the $150,000 a year to pay it?
So is it-
Probably, right?
Probably
Yes.
number one, but you
Why?
gotta remember too, is what we're paying out in maintenance. We got 2 new pieces of equipment. I mean,
They're
That's
covered
gonna
for
also go
that's
down.
gonna alter some of that.
a few years.
The $150,000 a year, guys, is when you look at the financing, I'm going high on this, so when I'm looking at the financing options that we were given, it doesn't include a large down payment, it's financing the whole purchase price was $71,000 a year, okay? That's per piece of equipment. So when I'm saying it's gonna be less than $150,000, I'm throwing a much larger number out there than what it's really gonna be. And if you look at how much we're over or under budget, you know, as far as the amount of money coming in, we can afford it. Plus, we have plenty of reserves to do
I
so.
know. So what I can see easily is the reserves, right? But what I'm asking is like, how much more are we making per year than what we're doing?
293,000.
Is that right, that number
Yeah,
right?
we have 293,000 this year.
This is why I write on my papers.
And if you
But
take
again-
that center column right there, that 293.
That's our
Well,
reserves.
That's how much we're expecting to be over this year, and that has not included the sale of the, the assets we've been getting.
Right.
That just was what we expected of it.
So we have those assets that were already sold, and then once we get
I got it.
the new pumper, and we take the old one out of service, then we can talk about selling that one, which should give us another $250,000 to $300,000 back into our coffers to pay for.
By that time, they'll have another piece they may buy.
I don't think so.
Slow your roll there.
We'll have another.
You want us to get one of those skid loader
All right.
fire?
Like
Does
SCBA?
that make you see it now?
Yes, that helps me
Makes sense?
because
Okay.
I,
Can
I'm
I,
going
struggle
above,
with
I'm going a much larger number than what we really have to throw in there. Just
can
to-
I ask, what is the total amount for both of the equipment? Not
872, 790.
Wow,
870?
Wow,
that's awesome.
that's less than what we were.
That's what we were looking at for one.
Go ahead, Debbie.
Okay, now I have something to say. If you remember back about a year and a half ago, somebody was in front of this group that said, we need a new engine. And this is before you guys came on board. And y'all said, how much is that gonna be? And they all said, oh, around 2.4 million. For one engine, an engine, not, I don't know if it's gonna be the exact same as you're talking about today.
$100,000.
But I want you all to remember, it was over $2 million. And today you're talking about 2 trucks. Now, it may not be the same, apples and apples, but it's still 2 trucks. And you're talking about $872,000.
Which is exactly why we're looking at it.
That's what this has brought to the party and why it's such a good deal for our community. I just wanted to use that as an example as to why going with the interlocal agreement has brought to this taxpayer, not as much money's going out of my pocket for this stuff. So I just, as a taxpayer, I'm happy this can happen. Okay, now shut up.
No, I mean, it's a valid point, and that's the reason we didn't do it. I mean, before, it was
You didn't
like,
see our
no.
2 million bumper sitting out there either.
So, okay. So, we need to move on this, and so, do we all feel good that we can afford this? And if so, we need to make motions to move forward with the purchase so we can get these things, otherwise somebody's gonna buy it out.
Right, do we need to make motions on both of them or
Yeah, but-
individually?
I
Let
think
me
you
ask
do
real
both.
quick.
Two minutes.
Yeah.
The down payment that needs to be
Individually.
made, that he's gonna need right away. He's gonna need
Well, so
150,000
that
down.
was for the tender, you need the 115.
Correct.
I asked a question about the engine and you said, no, that's different.
Yeah,
So
he
you want
doesn't
to
need
elaborate
that.
on that?
It's just gonna be your financing that I provided with government capital.
When is
There's
it?
no, you're not gonna
When's the
pay
payment due?
10 days.
No, when's the payment for the engine due? Are you prepaying or at delivery?
No, at delivery.
So,
Which is.
We only need the 115,000 up front.
For right now.
So
The rest
y'all-
of it will come through financing at delivery.
So you need to include that to pay him out of, you're transferring 68,000 in.
So what's the engine gonna look like?
Right now.
Just get ready. We need to address the tender individually first, though.
Each individually, do you guys need the motions to include something about signing a letter as well? I know that that was some of the wording in the agenda item.
I have it provided to me as a signer.
Okay.
That's the chassis.
Hold on, that's the engine. Let's
I
hold
know,
off
that's what
on
you
that.
said, you wanted to see what it looked
Okay.
like.
Oh, okay. So we,
Go ahead, chief.
We're at 9A. We need to address that first
Yeah.
Tender first.
before we start looking at the engine.
Focus, Jared.
Okay.
well, we're trying to kill two birds with one
Okay,
stone.
so we have the tender, we've agreed we can afford it. We need the 115,000 for the down payment, we have those funds.
Okay, so we need 100, what's the
You
dollar
wrote the number
amount?
down somewhere.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
It's 115,794.
794, and change, no change?
No change.
So does the motion need to include the total dollar amount or just the 115 for now?
The total dollar amount with the,
Yeah,
just,
what's the total dollar amount for that one?
429,773. That's with a Sourcewell pricing discount of 16,264 that we saved.
the total for the upfront payment of the 115.
Correct.
429. So to purchase the unit is going to cost the board $429,773.
Correct.
Okay. With
And
the
the-
upfront payment
Of 115.
upon
The 115, and then the 332.43 will be paid on delivery.
332.
330, $330,243.
Oh, you, okay.
You want me to say it
All
again?
right, chief.
That's the amount that's gonna be financed, right?
Yeah, that's.
Finance, correct.
But we need to add that too, don't we?
I don't think it's necessary.
Do you think it's necessary?
No.
Okay. Does it need to be there?
We need to address the 115,794
And
as an upfront payment within 10 days of signing, with a remaining balance of $330,243 due at delivery.
all right, $330,243
$243.
upon delivery.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Does he need to say who we're gonna use for financing or anything like that?
I would, yes. And why not?
Okay, who we're gonna use?
Government capital.
No.
Capital-
Oh, is it government cap?
It's government capital.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna shoot this then, all right, then.
Get it?
I'm gonna defer and think
Yeah.
to you. All right, I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the Midwest 3,000 gallon tender with a total dollar amount of $429,773. From, finance would be through government capital with a $115,794 payment upon 10 days of this approval, with a balance remaining upon delivery of $330,243.
Second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Thank you, Gary.
Yes.
Get your pen ready for the next.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Okay, now we're moving on to the engine.
And she's gonna show you another picture of it. And this, I just want to address, this was in the initial stages of build. So, a couple weeks ago, we were planning on that original one that I proposed to you. That unit sold. So I had to meet with him again, address all our options. There was 40 options that we were going over, but I wanted to keep that as similar to the original one as possible. And the one we have now is the same chassis, same engine, same everything. The only difference is a body type. It's just a little minor differences in body type, but you have the same core parts of that engine to keep it.
It's gonna work. I mean, it doesn't change the usage of it, does it, or does it?
One improvement that we had with it,
Okay.
the original one had a 1,250 gallon per minute pump on it. This one has a 1,500. So you're gaining 250 GPM on it. Which is important when we're addressing some parts of firefighting where we need a certain GPM for the city.
Okay.
Between two apparatus, we can address that with this engine.
All right.
You're gonna have the same gallonage of water on it. 1,000 gallons.
What's that? Just part of it in the box?
That's right behind your cab.
Right behind the cab, okay, for
Yep.
storage.
Pump fan lady.
What kind of truck?
So here's
Oh, what is it?
PXP.
Okay.
All right.
Back end of that is gonna be very similar to the one that he had here the other day.
So let's
Except
set
for
the
just different
numbers.
cap.
Can you provide Jerry with the numbers on that sheet, please?
So, $542,547.
Okay.
No down payment needed on that one.
That's
Yeah.
no
That doesn't
chassis.
mean we won't put one, we can discuss that later, we'll have time to make up our minds on
Okay,
that.
But that one should be ready in 3 months, 2 months?
That's delivery within 2 to 3 months. It could be 2. So last I checked, it was in West Virginia, getting dropped down to Bradenton, Florida.
So I didn't ask this question a minute ago, but I mean, it still can pertain to both units. Repairs, maintenance and stuff like that, when parts and stuff like that, is this going to be something that we gotta,
Siddons-Martin locally.
they're local in San Antonio?
Yes, sir.
For both units?
Midwest is not, but they will work on it.
They will?
Yes.
That's great.
And when you're getting into these new units, you're looking at warranties also. So
Yes.
someone doing that warranty work, which you're gonna have differences in warranties. You're gonna have a chassis warranty and a pump warranty. They're all gonna be different stages, but with this one, Pierce has an awesome warranty on it with 10 years on the chassis, whereas other ones are 5.
I know we didn't probably mention it under the tender, maybe we need to just mention about, you added a ladder to that unit on the tender? Or is that on?
Yeah, I talked about that.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was standard for that one, or was it added?
No, we added that.
Okay, yeah.
But
So
still,
the one side, when we were showing the pictures earlier, one side showed the drop tank,
yeah,
so when he gets on the scene, he can drop that, fill it up, and take off again.
Right.
And the other side would hold ladders too.
Correct. A
And
24 foot and a 14.
That puts in the category of a pumper as well,
okay.
which affects our ISO.
ISO,
So, again, we gave the number earlier, that was including 2 trucks, and so it's my opinion that we can afford a truck, we can, once we get
oh, yeah.
under contract and all, and we start talking to the finance company, we can also make a decision if we want to put more money down, we have more money. You know, we just gotta decide, do we wanna use it here, or do we have something else we might wanna use it for? But we have that option. But we don't need to in order to afford it.
Right.
Okay? So with that in mind, if we're ready to, are we ready to move? You're good?
Yes, sir.
we're ready to move forward on this. Larry, you have the numbers?
Yes, I have the numbers. I make a motion that we approve the purchase of a Siddons-Martin Type 1 engine to utilize government capital for finance. That is a total of $542,547.
Sorry.
All right, our motion. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
Who seconded?
Jerry,
Ken.
Let's needs to start working on the financing if this is going to be in 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, I'll be on top of that.
Was there something that we overlooked, Chief?
Is there something?
Good.
You guys were talking about something, you want to make sure there wasn't something.
No, I was just curious if it was being purchased under HGAC. Because usually there's like $1,000 fee for that. I just,
Okay.
Under, is
It's
that
a-
something we need to be?
no, not right now. If it changes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I don't see it on the quote. Generally,
It is.
okay, so that's important. So that's an important piece.
Okay.
Okay.
Explain that.
So this is how this satisfies the competitive bidding. And so you're purchasing under the HGAC competitive co-op. So there is what's the fee for it? It should be on there.
2,000.
Okay, so that needs to be in the motion of, I'm sorry, that's what I was
That's what I was, okay.
trying to, so we're purchasing this payment, or purchasing this truck under the HGAC contract for this. That is what satisfies, because it's hard to competitively shop fire trucks because you can't get apples for apples. And so, yes.
We need to amend it, motion on both of them?
No.
Specifically this one. HGAC
Yeah.
should be on the quote.
HGAC, I think I remember seeing,
So there's 2 on there, it's the bottom one.
Just the engine?
Correct.
Can we amend both motions at the same time?
is it for both or just the engine?
Just, I know for sure the engine.
The engine.
Just the engine. Let me make that amendment.
So it's Midwest on any co-op? It's Midwest on any purchasing. Sourcewell. What is it? Sourcewell. So that, yeah. That way they're just financed by co-ops, so I can come
Can we amend the motion already after it's passed?
In the motion to approve
It should be.
Yeah, the same person that made it can amend it very easily.
Okay. I make a motion that we,
Amend the
I mean, I make the motion to,
I make a motion.
I amend my motion, thank you,
To include.
to include under the Siddons-Martin Type 1 engine, purchasing under the HGAC co-op competitive process. Do we need to include the dollar amount, or do
I would.
It's part of the bid,
so to include the $2,000? Is that right?
yes.
Am I
Sorry.
second the amendment?
Sorry, we missed that.
That's
Yeah.
okay. No worries.
And I second the amendment.
Jerry's amended his motion, Ken has seconded the amendment. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
We also need to do the same for that tender.
Motion.
Sorry, guys.
Well, I explained it in the quote about the Sourcewell discount.
All right.
Oh, that's a co-op, we also need to just include that into the motion.
That'll be
I'd like to amend my motion.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you can say something. Say it. I stopped and decided, go ahead, say what you need to say.
No, I'm saying it's good. I mean, it's already in the quote, so we're doing it. We're covered. We're just being over the top to make sure it's covered in our minutes, so if anybody questions it. No.
I move to amend the motion on the purchase of the Midwest 3,000 gallon tender to include purchasing under the HCAC co-op.
No.
Not HGAC, it's Sourcewell.
Sourcewell.
Oh, under Sourcewell
co-op.
Co-op, is that right? for the dollar amount of 2,000?
I think it's a discount.
It's a discount. That's the one I provided to you before.
Yeah, you told us earlier, I didn't know that it was that
It's a
far.
Sourcewell pricing. The discount was $16,264.
Just say discount, that'll work.
16,264.
264.
I'm sorry. Okay. You got it?
You were the second on that.
I'm the second, I second that one.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Amended motion carries.
Okay.
But Jeff's gonna have to second us out of here.
Sooner or later.
Don't worry, sooner or later, I'll get that.
All right.
You've been quiet.
Now we're going to go on to the MSA SCBA's from Casco Industries.
So I sent the quote over to you also for that. We sold the 12 Scott SCBA's in thinking of being uniform with the rest of the county and with the same packs. We sold those for $60,000. We got the quote for $25,500 for 12 back pieces for the MSAs for purchase. We need to look at purchasing those. That's 12 of them that would go in place of those 12 Scotts.
To substitute what the other ones are being used for.
Correct. One difference though is we need to piece together some of the equipment because that's just the backrest for it. We need the bottles, the face pieces, battery charger, and a RIT pack. So with that 60,000 that we were kind of working with to go a different route, got a price actually 2 hours before this meeting. He was at FDIC, so he sent it over as quick as possible. To fully outfit this would be 24 bottles, just like we sold. The price on that would be $31,800. The face pieces for 12 of them would be $5,220. Battery charger, $850. And a RIT bag for $345. We're looking at $38,215 total for that, minus the $34,500 that we had left from that $60,000. To fully outfit us would be $3,715 on top of that. But at this point, we're looking at those 12 backrests, the back pieces that we need to purchase.
Just for right now, that's what we need. Okay.
I have a question, because I know whenever we talked about selling, we called it excess SCBA equipment, and we said that we had more than we needed, right? But now we want to buy the same number of them. So,
Correct.
I know the reason we want these instead of those, right?
It's uniformity.
Yeah,
Remember that we had 24 sets and we sold 12.
so now we still have 12 of those,
We still have 12.
Which was why I wanted to talk about that up
But we're
there.
gonna
We'll talk
get-
about that in a minute.
but we're gonna get 24 more of a
No,
different
12.
kind.
12, not 24.
12.
12, right?
That's on that quote, correct.
So so if as we discussed,
Oh, so to fully outfit is 24, but we're gonna buy 12. right?
Bottles. It's 2 bottles per pack.
There we go, thank you.
that's the only thing that's 24.
Got you.
But we had agreed that if we got rid of the excess, the remaining that was there, what we could use for training purposes.
Correct.
Is that right, or?
That was,
Well, we're going to address that.
Now,
Ken,
we
we're
knew
gonna
when we
address the
sold
rest of
those,
them.
that we were going to need to buy something that was gonna match more with what everybody else was using. But I was
Correct.
just curious, because that 24, I was like, wait a minute. That's what got me.
Yeah, that's the bottles, not the back.
I
But
understand.
then we can sell the 12 that y'all have extra, right? But the ones we have before, we can try to sell those again.
Correct.
After we get the 12.
Okay, let's have some discussion about this, because I feel like there's something you're trying to say something, Chief, I feel like you're trying to say something, but we're not talking about it, so let's just get it out there, okay?
okay, so we had 24 full packs,
Yes.
48 bottles.
Yeah, okay.
We sold 12 packs.
Yes.
Which meant left 12
24
packs.
bottles.
I'm sorry?
12 packs and 24 bottles
12
also.
packs and 24 bottles.
Okay.
So that leaves us 12 packs and 24 bottles still
Right.
left.
So
They were talking about using that for training.
for transparency, we're not using a Scott. I mean, I don't know, I don't think we've hidden that. we're not using the Scott packs. We've loaned the MSA air packs over here since October. We have extras. And all we're trying to do is for you to own the stuff that we normally use.
Okay,
There was an opportunity to sell half of them, just
Okay.
because they were available to sell.
all right.
The other 12, to me, should still be available to sell somewhere else. We're not going to train on packs and use packs that we don't use for training.
Okay.
So they're just excess of a brand that we don't use. So we're not trying, hopefully no one's thought we've tried to spin it any other way, because that's really all it is.
No, I don't think so, but I think I was under the impression that if we sold half, then we'd keep the other half possible training, stuff like that. That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
I think we just sold half.
It was.
The reason we sold half is because that's what they wanted.
SCBA equipment.
Right, they're still excess no matter what.
Right.
The reason they're excess is because they're still in service. So that's why the term would be excess, because they're still a serviceable piece of equipment
Right.
that's not being used in this fleet, and so therefore it's excess.
Okay. Continue. Either one of you. Chief, Cook, Ken?
So one of the things that we were talking about, kind of brought it up in discussion was, actually I brought it up, was can you really use what new system they're gonna use, the new packs, which are, what is it, the
MSA.
MSAs? Are they exactly
Now-
the same? Do you dot them the same?
Let's address that though, because they're not new. They would be new to us,
Oh,
but
new to, okay,
I just want to make sure that,
okay.
because I talked about that previously.
New doesn't mean they're new, they're just
Pre-owned.
pre-owned.
Correct.
Yeah.
But they don't, you can't switch out bottles the same? You don't put the respirator on the same, or the regulator? So we started talking, I said, well, don't you want, if you're talking about muscle memory and you're training with something, you do
I
the
get all
same
that.
thing and all that. So
I get all that.
So that would be the difference of why those
I
are not
understand.
gonna work.
So what was, so to outfit the 12 that that you're wanting to purchase, what is that total dollar amount?
For the backrest or just all of it?
I want to know how much it's going to cost total. I mean, that, all, breaking it down, I want to know what's the bottom dollar.
42,000.
So on top of that 25.5 that I provided with a quote, $38,215.
$38,000 for $215 total
Correct.
to get the 12.
That's 12 packs.
New SBAs.
On top
12
of
packs.
Used, right?
Yeah, no, that's on top of the 25?
On
Or
top of
that's
the
on,
25.
so that's not total dollar. So you're saying 38,000
The-
plus the 25?
The
Or is it-
total would be 63,715.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So that's where that 3,000.
That's what we need to know.
That's where he said 3,000 on top. I didn't pick that up then. I get-
And we sold our 12 for 60?
Yeah. So we're getting
So-
60, and we're gonna spend an extra 3 to get 12 more.
Plus we have 12
To
more
me,
packs
it's
to
the same
sell.
as putting the same keys on the door and getting the same phone system and all of those things. I'm a little frustrated because I feel like maybe we were a little bit attached to those from the beginning. And we felt like we needed to make a case for letting them go. And I mean, I remember asking a question and saying like, okay, so if these are excess and we let them go, are y'all down the road gonna tell us that we need new ones? And you said, yes, we're gonna need to get the same ones that we're using for ESD1. But that word excess, to me, the way that we were talking about it, didn't sound like the definition that we're talking about tonight, which I think is like more like what the definition is. So I think it needs to be done. I don't know. I do feel like a little bit like, I was a little hesitant to sell them because I was thinking, if we have something that works, why do we get rid of it?
And I asked Ken that same question earlier in the week. He came by to talk about it, and I said, does the board have any attachment to these packs because they were purchased by you? Is that something that I need to talk to everyone about? And
I think the only attachment we had was that was going to be a great thing for us to have. It was something we needed at the time. However, we didn't know about this merger.
Well, we understand that. We weren't part of the board, or I wasn't.
We're only spending $3,000 to get what we need. That's the way I look at it, and that's pretty good.
And that's as close as I wanted to get to it, is we're getting the exact same thing we
So,
sold.
but, okay, all right, so we have an excess pre-owned of 12 units. Do we have an opportunity to If we're not gonna use them, we need to sell them.
Yes.
Do we have an opportunity? Do we have anybody that's interested in them, or are they gonna sit on the shelf for another?
The gentleman we're buying the MSAs from, I spoke to this afternoon, and he is gonna shop them around if y'all are willing.
Battalion has all they need.
We'd actually
Yes.
make a profit of maybe 60 grand. I just wish it had come to us and been like, hey, we can probably sell these for around 60 grand, get what we actually need for around 60 grand. I would've been like, yes.
I won't deny, look, I understand we need them, and I'm all for, I loved everything that we're doing. I was just, when we've talked about this, my understanding was it was going to be for reserves or for training and stuff like that. But we had that discussion, Ken. So that's why I was understanding of that.
But it was like, after thinking about it, and thinking my own military experience, you train with what you're gonna use, and I said, well,
No,
does
yeah,
that?
we agree, we just,
No,
not,
and that's
not
when
huge
I asked
fans
him, I
of the
said,
way that
do
the
you-
road wound to get here is the
Yeah.
only thing. And I think it's the responsibility of the board to maybe call out when we're like, hey,
Sure.
would've loved for this.
Well, and that
to be-
No,
just-
you guys are right, it came in a weird roundabout
Right,
way.
yeah.
That's okay.
We just had that conversation.
You
I
the
will
other day.
be the first to say, I don't think there was any hidden agenda here, there's nothing like that, I don't believe there's nothing, that's full transparency, it's all been above. I wasn't thinking that we were gonna be selling the other 12, but that's fine, if we don't need them, if we're not gonna utilize them, there's no sense in us hanging on to them, just like we've done with all the other apparatuses.
Yeah, so that's what
Only thing I will ask Chief is, as we move forward, is bring me the full dollar amount. I know we're breaking everything down, I wanna know what the dollar amount is.
I didn't have that, I
And I get that.
apologize, I didn't have that until this afternoon.
And I know, I get that, that was just me, I was thinking it was 38,000, not 38 plus the 25, was a little,
Gotcha.
but, okay.
Thanks for finding such a good deal on them, so
Yeah,
we're actually gonna end
absolutely.
up coming out in the green on this thing and get
So-
what we actually need, so.
Absolutely.
And one thing you could think about on the training part of it is there's 12 packs with this buy. We're usually at 2 or 3 people per day. So that leaves some of those volunteers, you're looking at 8 or 9 packs that are available for training.
Okay. And we will own these packs,
Correct.
the 12. Okay, and we don't need any extras.
And you'll have a brand new air compressor to fill them up with.
No, I understand that. I'm all about looking into the future. And my question is, in another year or two, do you think we're gonna need more, or is this a good number that you feel like we're good at right now? Chief?
So today, it is a good number.
Okay.
I can't speak to what happens in a year. So
Yeah.
when we start looking at how we address our ISO ratings, and air packs is one thing that is within the ISO schedule. 12 is a good number for the 2 engines that we have to have staffed today, or
Okay.
available.
Yeah.
And so, obviously when we grow, yes, you'll need more. But with the current number of apparatus that sit today, you're gonna staff and I say staff, you're gonna stock 2 engines and a tender.
Right.
The tender is also gonna have engine equipment on it, so it can be cross, basically ruled as a tender or an engine with ISO. So once these new trucks come in, and there's a few other things, they're doing all the building pre-plans and all of this, then we're gonna go request a new ISO grade. Y'all know that ISO's been coming after you a little bit, saying, hey, we need to do an updated grade. They're willing to hold off, because I've called them and said, hey, you know what we're doing out here, give me some time. So they've been willing to hold off on requiring a regrade. But when these new trucks come in, we're going to request a regrade, and I think we're gonna see some good improvement. This is all part of it.
Okay.
And yes, to what you were saying earlier, even up until I stopped in here Monday, and we started talking about the SCBA's and what's going on with that. And I started making the comment of, wait a minute, if you're using this apparatus, these MSAs, do you still want to use the current ones for our training because of that muscle memory stuff? So that, I don't even know if you even addressed that up until we talked about it Monday. So,
Well, the overall, we still have 12 Scots that we put up for sale later on.
Yes.
And that can help buy more MSA when we need to.
yes.
So it's pretty much a,
All right, well now though, we need a motion for $25,000 is what you're looking for right now. Right?
I'm looking for all
Do the
of
whole
it.
thing. and then you're
Need to
done.
do the whole thing.
You have to approve
Yeah,
the
but
total
I mean-
dollar purchase.
That's why I asked for the total dollar. If we're gonna approve this, we might as well approve the total dollar,
All right,
unless the board feels differently.
No, I agree.
all right.
I make a motion, we purchase the new MSA SCBA's from Casco Industries for those 12 units with a total pack out, including everything of, the dollar is $63,715.
That's it.
Jeff seconded.
A motion, Jeff, second
All
from
right.
Jeff. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carried.
One more item.
Now, there's two more items.
Oh, there is?
Possible action to approve the auction of 8120 Chevrolet Tahoe, Chevy Tahoe, we're selling Tahoe. Yeah.
We don't have any use for it.
Okay. If we don't have any use for it, I think we ought to sell it.
Which one is this?
The
Is
one
this
that's
the
right out here?
The gray one.
Is this the one that it was being utilized by your IT person from time to time, or no?
It was, and we kind of picked up on the fact that, weren't totally comfortable with that, so we got them a different vehicle. It's excess. I've got mixed emotions. I mean, I'm 100% supportive of selling it. If you feel like you need to. Is it a potential reserve? It is. If everything else went down, it's a potential reserve. We don't have a lot of staff, but I'm good with selling it. I mean, we're not using it right now. It's sitting there. The only thing that we would use it for right now is errands, or we've got a light duty person who's gonna be mapping hydrants, stuff like that. They're gonna use a brush truck right now. They could use that, but I'm good with selling it too. I mean, just understand the value you're gonna get for it. I mean, if you get 3,000 for it, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and then think about, like, if you did need to replace it in the future, you have a running Chevy Tahoe right now.
Exactly.
I don't know if somebody's going out and mapping fire hydrants. I don't know if I want them to be out in a brush truck mapping fire hydrants. Like, what does that look like to everybody in the?
Well, I mean, you see that happen a lot. You see that with City of San Antonio. They're out there at times, they're releasing, checking fire hydrants, stuff like that, and the engine is on site. Am I wrong? Or
Yes.
Is that accurate statement?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like they're out doing code compliance.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's improved.
I know when Chief Powers, mentioned that y'all might be interested in selling, I'm completely supportive. We're not using it day to day. Is it a little bit of a security blanket? It's a little bit.
For me, for 2012 Tahoe that you're not gonna get squat for, I almost think just, why not hang on to it?
Well, I'm agreeing. I didn't know that we were even considering it, to be honest. I don't know.
I don't have a problem sitting on it. I mean, if you had to replace it, you're gonna spend more than $3,000.
Right. I mean, it's not, how much, I mean, if it sits out there, we run it a little bit, it gets utilized a little bit, I'm okay with it. Spending a little bit of money in maintenance on it, so personally, that's just my opinion.
All right. Let's hit the rest.
Yeah.
Discuss brush truck 8120 issues and options.
We already addressed that.
So we're
Got
good
it
with that,
fixed.
right?
We're good.
Yeah. And sorry, originally we said we weren't gonna recommend repairing it because it was $14,000.
Right.
We started looking at replacement cost and then trade-in value, and the dollars and cents, just when we found out we could have it repaired for $6,000, it just made more sense to, so.
Yeah, okay.
Those are those little things where we need to make adjustments,
Yeah.
and look at the benefits of it. And get a mechanic to actually look at it, and it runs good.
Good. And we have a warranty with that, right?
We do.
We do.
Good. The measures.
Yeah, it's a 12-month.
Acknowledge next meeting,
May 19th.
May 19th.
Jeff has made a motion, we adjourn. Yes, ma'am.
That's the night of the band.
All those in favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Don't
say
everybody leave. Don't everybody.
Do what?